Hello, and welcome to another episode of What Is It Like Being a Holistic Practitioner in Tennessee? I'm Scott. This is the Holistic Collective. And today we get to speak with Melinda. Melinda's usually, or a lot of times, on this end with me interviewing other people. So it's really cool to have her here to talk about her practice, how it's evolved, and how she's helping people. So thanks for joining, Melinda.
Hi, thanks for having me,
Of
Scott.
course. Of course, it's all in the family. So, all right, I want to kind of start with a little bit of background. So you've done a lot of things in wellness, and I want to get a little bit of an origin story. I know there's a lot you could talk about, but maybe we could do like a slightly, you know, I guess abridged version of that, and just talk about how you got into this field. How did you get into alternative health and wellness, and how did it lead you to be doing what you're doing now with thermography and frequency?
Okay. Well, the short version of that is that I started off as a client and I kind of grew up like many people in sort of a unhealthy lifestyle with unhealthy diet, mainstream medicine and antibiotics. And so in my early 20s, kind of late teens, I was already having various health concerns and struggles, which is pretty early in life to get started on that
Mm.
bus. But anyways, I was really struggling. So um, fast forward, I became a practitioner first through massage therapy and yoga-based movement. I became a health coach. And then, many years later, I became a massage success coach. And thermography kind of was introduced to me by a friend, really like many years ago. Something that people don't realize is that thermography's been around for a long time. And so when it was first introduced to me, it was intriguing, but I was so focused on massage therapy at the time that I just kind of put it on the back burner. But I circled back around to it because an opportunity came up in 2023 for me to become a thermographer, and it was a great opportunity, and I was perfectly primed to do it because I had just decided to really retire from massage therapy. So I just kind of jumped into it, and I've really been learning so much since 2023. It's been really eye-opening and it's been, yeah, like great to help people in a different way.
That's awesome. Yeah, shout out to Stephen and Erica too for having that great suggestion all those years ago. So that was really, full of foresight on their part, and it seems to be happening in a big way now. So, okay, can you talk about a little bit about what thermography is? What is it? How is it helping people? What does that look like for you?
Okay, so I feel like there's two sides of healthy living. There's first the information gathering side, and then there's the treatment therapy side. And so thermography is really in this information gathering side. When people don't feel well, then they ask themselves, why? Why don't I feel good? And then they're on this mission of exploring for information and gathering information about their health. A lot of people will go to blood work. Maybe they'll do various tests or screenings or scans. And so thermography is in this category of like, it's more like a holistic type of imaging, and it's looking at inflammation patterns in the body. And so inflammation is really important to look at because it's the precursor to all disease processes. So before something is a diagnosis or a disease in the body, it's first inflammation for sometimes years, really, before it's manifested. And so
Mhm.
when we can look at these heat patterns in the body, then we're getting a sense of not just like where is there inflammation, which is really important, but how much. And then what I really like is the monitoring aspect. So people can get a sense of where they're at with the inflammation in their body and then go do some type of therapy or treatment or practice to improve, and then come back to their thermography imaging and see, did that work for them? Are they improving? Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? And so it's really important for monitoring your lifestyle and whatever treatments or therapies you're doing.
Okay, cool. I think that's a really important thing to mention. Like the distinction between diagnosing a specific condition or looking for a specific condition versus just getting a lay of the land and monitoring, right? That's
Mhm.
the difference here. It's not, I think a lot of people, and I always kind of thought that you're specifically looking for cancer or looking for a specific type of, ailment with something like thermography, but it's really not that at all. And I think it's a misconception, right?
There's several, yeah, myths out there, and I'm trying to help educate people on what I think they should think of with thermography versus whatever articles they've read on Google. Because
Yeah.
you really just want to add this to all the information gathering that you're already doing. It's not really supposed to replace anything. It's
Yeah.
just supposed to be in addition to whatever else you're doing. So I tell people gather as much information as you can about your health, whatever types of test screening scans include thermography, and
Mhm.
then you're going to start to look for themes and patterns across all of this information. And of course, you're going to get multiple opinions about how to best improve. And that's, you being an advocate for your health.
Perfect. Yeah, that's really good to delineate that. So, who are you typically helping with this?
Really, anybody. There's really nobody that shouldn't do this, I would say. There's no reason to not do this. It's heavily marketed for women, of course,
Yeah.
but men have inflammation too. And really, people are just whoever's health conscious, whoever is seeking answers to why they might not feel 100% healthy, or why they're experiencing certain symptoms, or they're just kind of wanting to look at what's going on with me. So I would say people have to somewhat be interested in their health.
Yeah.
So really anybody who's interested in their health and wanting more information about how to really target their focus. So, like, for example, a lot of people will do their annual blood work, and in some people's blood, it might show like inflammation markers. And so then the next question to ask is, well, where is this inflammation? Is it everywhere? Is it in certain parts of my body? And so thermography is going to show you exactly where you have concentrated inflammation in the body versus just guessing, right? And in some cases, it's validating. People may already know that they have headaches or they may already know they have arthritis. But in some cases, there's silent inflammation that people do not know about. And that's really important for people to be aware of. So then
Yeah.
they can take proactive action, because it's better to improve a situation with your health early versus late.
Agreed. Yeah, because inflammation, it's not always painful, right? You can't always tell that it's there, especially when it's, internal and everything. So, I've seen
Mhm.
that on myself. Do you have specific client stories, client wins, testimonials, anything cool that's happened as a result of thermography that you can share?
Well, the one that stands out the most for me is a girlfriend came in and she had had thermography 1 year prior. So she had some images taken, and at the time she had mold toxicity. She was very sick with mold toxicity. And she went to a functional doctor because she was really desperate for answers and just trying to do whatever she can to get better.
Yeah.
And they put her on a $10,000 mold detox program that was supposed to take an entire year. I believe it was around 10,000. It was high ticket. And
Mhm.
so when I saw her, I hadn't seen her in a year, and I'm like, wow, you look great. You look like you've lost some weight. You look bright. How do you feel? And she was like, I'm not 100%, but I think that I feel better. I did this program, and it's like, okay, well, let's see what your images look like now. And the truth is, her images looked a lot better. She had a lot less inflammation. And I just love the honesty of an image. The pictures don't lie. People may or may not be aware of how they feel in their body, if they're improving or getting better. Not everyone is like that in tune or sensitive. And so it was very validating and confirming for her that that program that she spent a lot of money on actually worked for her. And so, she felt good. I think when people are sick, also there's a lot of worrying. So
Mm.
it's like, am I dying? Like that might sound dramatic, but people do worry about their health. And so when
Yeah,
she saw the fact that she had improved so much, that there was so much less inflammation on the image, it's like she could actually relax, take a deep breath, and feel good knowing that whatever she did was actually helping and that her health was improving.
that's amazing. Yeah, that's a really good one. And that probably just made her heal even more, right? Once she was able to relax. So,
Yeah, it's encouraging, like, okay,
yeah,
I did something right, let me keep going and keep
awesome.
monitoring.
And there's really, I mean, maybe I'm not an expert on different screenings that are out there, but it seems that thermography is really the only one that specifically looks at inflammation, right? I mean, there's, is there anything else that does that? I don't think there is. I think a lot of the other ones are structural based, like an MRI and obviously an X-ray is bone. So there's no other really good way to know that other than to use thermography and to do it multiple times to track, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, blood work will show inflammation markers, and
Okay,
it's
yeah.
like, hey, it looks like you have some inflammation, but like again, the answer or the question is where? Where
Right.
is it? Is it
Yeah,
everywhere? Is it just in my blood? And so it just tells you exactly where.
that's very cool. Good for her. So if somebody, there's a lot of people that may see this, we're in Tennessee and there's like a big education boom going on right now with holistic wellness, alternative wellness. If somebody's just getting started and they're looking for alternative solutions outside of the typical, legacy systems, what kind of advice do you have for them on how to go about it?
Well, I feel like just asking a couple questions on Facebook is not enough.
Yeah, no.
Although, you know what, there is a big community of people, like-minded people on Facebook. But I feel like that can be kind of overwhelming when someone's just getting started. I feel like people maybe lean a little more towards certain things. Maybe they have friends or family that tried something and they're being introduced to it. So th there is kind of an exploring process with different therapies, treatments, modalities, screenings, etc. Um, and so, yeah, just kind of having uh, a mindset of curiosity.
Yeah,
Let me lean into this or try this. Let me get best recommendations from people that I trust, people that have their own testimonials of this helped me, or, I tried this practitioner and I really liked them. So, there is an element of that. Well, the Holistic Collective
yeah,
is obviously designed for to help people at least go to a directory and see what their options are because you really do have a lot of options, and if you aren't even aware of what all those are, you can kind of get a sense of like there's different types of health and wellness for um, mental health, emotional health, physical health, and really, I don't know. I mean, I've been in this field for 20 something years. It's still an exploration. There's still a lot to learn. So
yeah,
it's really kind of being in this like paradigm, if you will. I don't think you ever get to a point where you understand everything in depth. But it's just kind of like a feeling of like, yeah, like you're in Disneyland or something
yeah,
like all of a sudden like it's a really exciting and fun world to explore. And I would say it's a more empowering because it's based around our natural ability to heal if we're creating the right conditions. So there's less of a like victim energy, there's less of a doing harm energy, and the health and wellness space, it's first do no harm, really. And then we're really trying to support the body's natural ability to heal in a variety of ways, which is the fun exploration.
yeah. I would agree with that. Just being curious and learning. And so many things have been obfuscated or just not widely talked about in so long that are really effective. And now they're coming back around. And most of them aren't new, but they're just being rediscovered. And you really have to be curious to be. I'm learning a lot all the time. So obviously people can find you at Holistic Collective. That's holistictn.com. They can find Health Scan Thermography there. Where's the best way for them to reach out or get in touch with you or see what you have going on?
Okay, so healthscanthermography.com is my website. And you can also follow me on Instagram at healthscanthermography. I would say those are the two best places.
Awesome. We'll put that in the show notes, but what else are you offering?
Okay, thermography is definitely the main service, but I have some complementary scans that I'm really excited about. So bioresonance is a type of scan that looks at the biofield. It's looking at these subtle frequencies in the body. And so even before inflammation starts in the body, there are subtle frequency imbalances that happen before that. And I like to do bioresonance in addition to thermography because it's either like validating, confirming things that we're already seeing on the thermography, but it can also be revealing things that haven't quite showed up yet as inflammation. So all of this is kind of in that preventative category. There aren't really many tests that are looking at the biofield or the frequencies of the body or the inflammation specifically. And so these two things combined really cover that whole spectrum of like early detection. And then another thing that I'm becoming really excited about is looking at the heavy metals and the
Mhm.
minerals in the body. So I just became trained to offer another scan called Oligo Scan. And this is an intracellular tissue scan looking at the metal and mineral levels in your tissues. And so that's important because, a lot of times on thermography, I'll see inflammation over people's liver. And
Mm.
I personally think that we are all taxed right now with a lot of toxins and especially metals, and that our livers are all being compromised. Pesticides, chemicals, all kinds of plastics and whatever. So just to kind of get a even more in-depth look at, well, what types of metals and sometimes people don't feel well when they have mineral deficiencies. Like when we're stressed out, we use a lot of minerals. When our body's struggling with toxins, we use a lot of minerals. So that's another scan that I think is just going to be complementary to the thermography and bioresonance.
That's awesome. Yeah, thanks for explaining that. Those are some new things that can really help. Health scan thermography, and then do you have specific promotions or anything enticing right now that will help people get in touch?
Yes, so I do have a new client 20% off special for thermography, and everyone should take advantage of that. I know a
Yeah.
lot of people out there have heard of thermography, but they haven't quite booked it yet for the first time. So if you're a first-time client, you get 20% off. That's just going to make it a little more enticing for you to do it now, book it now. And then I also have a bundle where I bundle all three of those scans and you get a certain discount off. So if you wanted to do a full body thermography, a metal mineral scan, and a bioresonance scan, you get that at a discounted price. And then I also have a membership where for someone who's really serious about monitoring on a kind of seasonal every 3 months for the whole year. I have like a membership that's similar to the bundle, except that you're doing that for a whole year. And that's also a really great savings and value.
We really appreciate it. Love having you on, Melinda, and talking a little bit more about thermography. It's becoming big, and people need to check it out. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. We'll see you on the next one.